Voter ID requires American citizens to provide some form of official identification in order to cast their ballot. They're designed to ensure a fair and honest election, with the results accurately reflecting how Americans voted. But liberal politicians are rallying to stomp out voter ID laws ahead of the 2016 general election, hoping that it will help thrust Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton into the White House. In August, North Carolina became the 6th state to have its voter ID laws struck down. The battleground state's governor, Pat McCrory, voiced his opposition to the court's ruling, contesting that changing our state's election laws close to the upcoming election, including common-sense voter ID, will create confusion for voters and poll workers. The court should have stayed their ruling, which is legally flawed, factually wrong, and disparaging to our state. And while speaking at a rally in Wilmington, North Carolina, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump argued that without voter identification, fraud will be rampant in the general election. Conservative lawmakers across the nation have been fighting to keep voter ID laws to ensure an impartial election in November. A poll released in the last week of August suggests the majority of American people share that sentiment. A Gallup survey revealed that 80% of people support laws requiring voters to present ID before casting ballots, and non-whites are only 4% less likely than whites to support voter ID. Even the majority of Democrats, more than 60%, showed their support. Gallup's Justin McCarthy wrote on the company's website that the political squabbling over efforts to pass or restrict these laws in many states is therefore not representative of public opinion.
Pennsylvania State Police stage voter fraud sting company allegedly forging registrations in Keystone State also signed up phony voters in Ohio by Jim Stinson. Pipe updated the 4th of November 2016 at 10:38 p.m. Pennsylvania State Police have raided 2 offices of a voter registration group, just as the election approaches in what could be a crucial state. Police raided the Philadelphia office of Fieldworks LLC's office on Thursday after raiding another office in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, just days earlier. According to the Philadelphia Inquirer, the police used the warrant-seeking forms that could be used to construct fraudulent voter registration forms and completed voter registration forms containing same or similar identifying information of individuals on multiple forms. The Washington-based group has pledged to work with state police, the Inquirer reported. Attorney General Bruce Beamer suggested to the Inquirer that the group was employing registrants who were cutting corners to meet quotas. One way to do that is to re-register existing voters with subtle spelling differences in their names. That technique sounds familiar, because Fieldworks did it in Cuyahoga County, Ohio, according to Logan Churchwell, Communications Director for True the Vote, the voter fraud watchdog. The group had previously signed up phony voters in the Cleveland area, said Churchwell. And Churchwell agrees that in many cases, the volunteers or the paid staff are looking to meet quotas for new voters. Late Thursday, the Inquirer reported that Fieldworks fired Ruth Ann Alexander for not meeting an unofficial quota of 18 people per day. Fieldworks could also claim it registered some persons already on the voter rolls, some persons who forgot they were already signed up. But that doesn't explain why county election officials didn't catch those cases, in Ohio or elsewhere. Churchwell says identifying information that is supposed to help officials catch that, like the last 4 numbers of Social Security number, are always off by a digit or 2. So the phony registrants stay on the voter rolls. But what bothers election watchdogs is that in many cases observed in past elections in Cleveland, both the real person and the phony voter voted. Churchwell cannot explain exactly how that was allowed. When Cleveland area officials were asked why by True the Vote, they did not offer an answer. On the surface, it sounds like voter fraud. People registered phony people and someone voted them. But Beamer said it doesn't look like that. Churchwell says the systems are so weak to find duplicate registrations, even though they are supposed to work, that it happens all the time. Such registration fraud, he said, is easy to commit, and prosecutors don't have time to go after all the cases. In Indiana, another group was investigated by Indiana State Police. Police raided offices of Patriot Majority US, a non-profit advocacy organization, which signs up voters in urban and black areas. Liberals immediately cried foul, and reminded people that Indiana's governor is Mike Pence, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's running mate. Homeowners saying goodbye to Power Bill for good. Why did no one tell homeowners about this? If you own a home and pay more than $19/month for power, you better read this. Free solar quotes. They won't be able to make that argument in Pennsylvania, which has a Democratic governor and a Democratic state election officer.